Hello, so back again with another video. I just kind of wanted to jump on and give my thoughts on Kristjaan Speakman's interview yesterday, what he gave to SAFC Unfiltered, and also on Tony Mowbray's press conference, looking ahead to tomorrow's game, and also about what his thoughts on what the transfer window was. So for Kristjaan Speakman, I feel that he's had a lot of unfair criticism. He speaks very well. Yes, it was frustrating, like I touched on the video yesterday, that it is frustrating that we haven't gotten a striker. But when you hear the context behind what went on, it wasn't for the lack of trying. We were caught on the hop. We were quite happy with where we were at the start of the game on Saturday. Then Ross gets injured, and it's a massive blow. But I'm fully supportive and fully behind the model and what we're trying to do. It is working at the moment. You can't deny that. We're exceeding expectations of where we dream would be. At the start of the season, somebody's given us ninth place. You'd have snapped the hand off. Yes, I can see people's point of view of we've had a great season. Now's the time to kick on and try and get to the next level. But if you take a step back and look at the bigger picture, the club, compared to where we were a year ago, has come on a million miles. So any Sunderland fan has to be happy. And hearing these Sunderland fans saying, they're not going to go back to any more games because they're never going to strike them, is just absolutely ridiculous. To me, they're not true supporters. Anybody who would come out with that sort of statement, I'm not going to go back to the stadium because of Speakman and KLD, because we're never going to strike you in deadline day, is madness. Absolute madness. We're in a great position. We're in a healthy position. We've got a great recruitment team. As he was saying on his podcast, we're already looking towards the next transfer window. They're already planning towards that. So, fair play to them. Fair play to them, and the players that we're getting and identifying, the good young talents. I cannot really think of anybody who's come in who hasn't really performed. Maybe Leon De Jacko, maybe one of them who hasn't really kicked on to where we thought he would be. But, they've sent him out on loan to get some game time. Jay Matete, they've sent him out on loan, and they're going to get them some good quality game time in good sides, get them to come back next season, hopefully be better players. So I just feel that the criticism that he's had is unfair. He speaks well, and he's right what he says. That the future's looking good. It's not a case of not wanting to kick on to the next level. It's about being realistic. It's about sticking to the model. They've got the philosophy that they're trying to do, and it's working. And like you said, is it worth just signing a free transfer just for the sake of signing a free transfer, who is maybe going to come in and disrupt things, wouldn't be right for the club, might not even work? So just my thoughts. I just think he's got my support. He's doing a great job. The whole recruitment team's doing a great job. KLD, Stuart Harvey, all of them, they're identifying top targets. And like you said, the signing of Gelhardt is a massive coup. The amount of teams that were after Gelhardt was unreal. We've seen what he can do in the Premier League when he's come off the bench for Leeds. He looks a real top talent. Yes, he's now going to have the added pressure of possibly being the main man, but let's hope he can step up on that pressure, and he hits the ground tomorrow, and he starts scoring goals. So why not? Yes, these signs are for the future, but they also feel that they make an impact now that they come off the bench to change games. So that's just my thoughts on Speakman's podcast. I thought he spoke well. I was impressed with the philosophy and how the club's going, and like you say, from where we were a year ago, we're a million miles from that. We were going nowhere. We've now got a direction, we've got a model in place, we've got a manager in place now who's developing these young players, who's level-headed, he's got the experience of the Championship, and we are moving forward together. which is great. So that's just my thoughts on the whole Speakman situation. On to Tony Mowbray's presser. So he gave his press conference today where he was kind of asked, you know, a few different questions about transfer targets and how much of a blow is Ross and how is Ross. So like, and he kind of echoed the words of Kristjaan Speman. You know, why do we want to sign a free transfer, a number 9, just because he's got a number 9 on his back? You know, just because he can stand in the box, he's a centre forward. You know, he'd, in his words, he'd rather stick with the players he's got, with the culture we've got, develop them players, you know, and move forward with them, and not want anybody to come in and disrupt that just for the sake of disrupting that. He did say, however, you know, if Gelhardt was to get injured, then we'd have to look at that again. But they did look at the free transfer market. They did look at 3 or 4 options, which didn't quite get over the line, which again is not really our fault. We can't force teams to sell us the players or loan us the players. If Everton had gotten some players in, would have probably 99% certain of getting Ellis Sims back. It didn't work out. He also said that they'd looked at a centre midfield player with experience who he obviously knows very, very well, who was a very, very, very good player. I don't know who that was. Maybe it was that Buckley from Blackburn, who he knows previously. Wouldn't know. He didn't see it, but it just didn't fall our way. It didn't go in our favour. So, you know, it wasn't for the lack of trying, like I've said. Injury news wise, Alex Pritchard and Dennis Sergan are both fit and available for tomorrow, but might be a bit too soon for Pritch. Doesn't want to rush him back like he did the last time, and he came on and got injured within 4 or 5 minutes. So we might see him on the bench tomorrow. Sergan is fit, possibly on the bench as well. So positive signs on the injury news as well. Ross Stewart said he was a little bit down at first, but he's just keen to get the operation done next week, and then start his rehab and get ready for the start of pre-season. But you know, impressed with Tony Mowbray and what his press conference said. Again, and like I said, impressed with Kristjaan Speman. I'll put the links for both the podcast for Kristjaan Speman and Tony Mowbray's press conference in the comments below. Let us know your thoughts. You know, I know there's a lot of people out there will probably disagree with that. You know, that they're not happy with KLD and Kristjaan Speman. They feel they've let the club down and by not signing a striker. But you know, we've seen in the past with the Will Grigg situation, you know, we panicked buy on the deadline day, paid $4 million for Will Grigg, and look what happened. You know, it was an absolute disaster. So at the moment in time, we've got more than enough attacking options to cause teams problems, to still score goals, to still pick up points. If Gelhardt can stay fit for the last 17 games and he scores, you know, a few goals, I think we'll still not be far away from the playoff picture. I really do. And this league's so tight. If we can just hang on in there, you know, and keep picking up wins, I think we'll still be up and around there, because, you know, as we've proved this season, there isn't any team, with the exception of Burnley, second half, who's absolutely outplayed us. We've been more than a match for any team in this league, and that was including when we didn't have Ross or Ellis for 3 months, wherever it was. You know, I know we didn't win many games, but we were still competitive. So we've got Gelhardt, we've got Lee Hadji, who can also play up front, so I'm told, even though he might be a player for next season. But, you know, let's just see how these young lads develop. Let's just keep that culture. You know, we played, 80 minutes against Fulham without a centre forward, and we caused them no end of problems. You know, a team 6 in the Premier League. So I know it's a hard ask to do it every game, week in, week out, but, you know, let's just see where it takes us. But all in all, happy with Speakman, happy with Tony Mowbray. Let's get these last 17 games out of the way, see where it takes us. Hopefully we can, you know, maybe sneak in the playoffs, and you know, we might even have another Wembley trip, who knows. But let us know your thoughts. Thanks for watching. Please like and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Massively appreciate anybody who watches the videos and gives us a thumbs up. So thank you very much. Watch out for the match review after the Millwall game tomorrow. But until then, as always, take it easy, stay safe, and speak soon. Ta-ra.